Jade, and I am the awesome possum, also known as Ugandan Knuckles. Get off my foot!
I am
Here, take them.
The nature of the operation.
Wait, now don't move up and down though, that's kind of not fair.
Okay, I'm just gonna kill him.
Those operations are complete.
Oh my god.
Please let him be. Let my brother live.
And also, Secretary
No,
could you talk
he must
a little
die.
bit more about your concerns that you've expressed earlier in the week
Let's just
about
fight.
Russian escalation?
Give me your face! I know moving up and down now.
I would like to
well, the perfect fatality to start off the video.
Situation with the Skripals and the
well, you
Russian
are making a broadcast, right, up in smoke?
Russian involvement played a role in your decision.
You're doing a broadcast,
to
right?
coalition.
I mean, you don't have to, I'm just saying. Alright, now it's me and my pizza.
Oh, free!
Okay, fair enough.
Press O, press O. If you press O, there we go. Now just wait. Sometimes if you press, give me your face! Give me your face! Give me your face! And his name was John Cena! Ah! My face! Dude, that was epic. You're standing on me.
Just a couple of days ago that you said you're still assessing the intelligence.
Alright, please, no cousin. Please. You got the knuckles, though.
So, at this point, do you know what the chemical was used?
Alright, now it's YouTube. It is YouTube.
And also, what is your
And this corner is the Queen. And in this corner is my stupid brother.
What's your evidence that was delivered by the Syrian regime? Are you quite clear?
Wait, hold on! Hey, hey! Hey!
That's not fair!
Chemical attack on innocent people.
How about you shut up and hold on?
Last week.
Yeah, I was doing something really quick.
Shut the frick up. You know what? Wait, I want to do something to you real
As far
quick.
as the actual, do you know what it was? Was it nerve agent? Was it
And this corner is the Queen. And this corner is my stupid brother. The
very
fuck?
much severe?
Damn! Wait! Dab on them haters, guys! Let you guys know, dab on them haters. I'll rip your eyes out. I'll rip your eyes out.
Oh, free!
I'll rip your eyes out. I'll rip your eyes out.
Communications that took place specifically associated with this operation before the
I am so sorry, my keys. My keys.
the procedures that are in place for all of our operations.
My keys.
The Syrian Air Forces have engaged. The Syrian State TV is saying they shot down 13 Tomahawk missiles. Can you
Come this way.
that?
Come this way.
Jennifer,
My queen!
we literally, as you know, about an hour ago. They came straight up here to give
Oh, you even drug her out like you were freaking Jason crap. By the way, I like the Queen better than my brother. Just to let you guys know, I like the Queen better than my brother.
This wave of airstrikes is that's why we're out here speaking to you.
My brother sucks. He is the most worst brother in the world. Do not friend him. Ever.
For this strike. Could you talk a little bit more about that because of your
Fight me, brother. Fight me,
It
brother.
sounded like you were
I'll show you the way.
a potential strike would somehow be linked to self-defense and the presence of American forces in Syria.
And you said I didn't do it.
So regarding
Come
whether or
here.
not there will be future action for additional strikes, you said that it would depend on whether or not the outside government
So you
conducts
kicked
future
in the
chemical
face.
attacks, but can you just explain a little bit more about what would be the threshold for that? Because there were repeated chemical attacks from 2017.
Yeah, I know the way, alright.
And would you
I know
consider
the
a
way.
small-scale chlorine attack sufficient to launch additional strikes?
I'll just tell you we're in close consultation with our allies. We review all the evidence all the time. It is difficult, as you know, to get evidence out of Syria.
It is now me and the
Right now,
Queen, my
we have
folks.
no
It is me and the
attacks planned. But as far as the legal authority under the Article 2 of the Constitution, we believe the President has every reason
Fight
to
me,
defend
Queen.
vital American
Okay.
interests.
No.
And that is what he did
Not
here
you, I don't
tonight.
want you. Oh, get your ball. Oh, I'm not
Oh, free!
Patients with difficulty going into chemical facilities.
Nope, not today! Die! Yeah!
We chose these particular targets to mitigate the risk of civilian terrorists, number one. And we chose these targets because they were specifically associated with the chemical program, the Syrian chemical program. And obviously, we took a look at the location relative to populated areas.
Get your hands off me, you stupid. Get your hands off me, I'm switching it.
Proportionality, discrimination, and being specifically associated with the chemical program. Weapons are we're gonna.
Oh man, that was like awesome. Though. I like hung her. That was freaking awesome. I gotta save that. Alright, now it is YouTube. What happened? What happened? No!
I cannot tell you that we have...
In that corner is my stupid brother. And in this corner is the lovely, beautiful queen. Beat the living buns out of him! My queen. Beat the living buns out of him.
Targeting the chemical...
Fine! You wanna do that then? I'll kill you! I'll kill you, you stupid brother!
Actually, any chemical weapons or agents in those facilities.
Fine, I'll just hide in here if nobody wants me.
We don't believe we did.
No, I am not saying I'm sorry, you stupid piece of crap.
Chairman pointed out we did everything
By the way, press
in
O.
our intelligence assessment and our planning to minimize
Come on, wiggle your way up there.
You're very
You're breaking limbs!
That's not me, that's him.
My queen! My queen!
The poison
My queen!
that assured the world.
I'm all the way back here.
Queen!
So it is a challenge, not problem set. We have the right military dealing with it.
Queen! Save me!
Of course not.
Queen!
Oh!
Get your knee out of his face!
To air defenses.
Save me! 3, 2, 1, John Cena! McQueen! McQueen, I'm trapped in here, McQueen! Save me! Save! Queen!
The United States Central Command alone here tonight. They were quite busy.
McQueen!
Through the night,
McQueen! Oh, there's trash in here! Save me! It smells disgusting in here! Please! Save! Please! Please! Save! I Save me! You want to
as you can imagine, the commander always takes measures, especially when they were in tonight. They did make adjustments.
Just to be clear on the deconfliction line,
I want to call that as a win-win because there was no way you're getting out of there.
What the targets were?
That is absolutely correct.
It is now me and my brother.
To
Watch and look.
The airspace that we were using, we did not targets or any planning with the Russians.
Why am I naked?
Follow me, my queen.
We passed the operational link from the Combined Air Operations Center in Qatar.
I don't want to grab it.
That kind of information, just to put it in perspective, was passed routinely every day and every night. So they may
I'll just tell you, man. Nobody likes you anywhere. You're just like Billy. Nobody. I will kill you, brother. No! Get your hands off me!
Oh, I got your butt!
Yeah, I got your butt now!
Our allied officers are here out of respect for the fact that they were part of the mission.
Oh my god! Woo! Oh my god!
Heads of state speak tomorrow, and that'll be the initial statement from those capitals. But as far as
because you
any
gotta
other
learn the
targets,
way.
we looked at targets specifically
Get it,
designed
where you come
to
from?
address the chemical weapons.
Alright, fine, I'll
that
choose
we
a new
see
freaking level, you big
manifested. The
baby.
whole world has watched in
God.
horror these weapons being used. Those are the only targets
we
that
get
we
it.
were
You suck at this game.
examining for prosecution.
Ah, Lord.
Dang it.
And now you left. See, that's why I didn't want to leave the level, but your baby butt had to make us change.
Are all of the involved production facilities for chemical weapons that the Syrians are using? And do you believe that there are additional locations where they are producing such materials?
This is a great question. We have a number of targets to select from. And again,
by the way, dude, I heard every single word you said.
Of collateral damage and specifically a high risk of civilian casualties. And so the weaponeering, back to your earlier question, the weaponeering was done, the modeling was done to make sure that we mitigated the risk of any chemicals that were in those facilities, mitigate the risk of civilian casualties. So were there other targets that we looked at? There were. We selected these specific targets, both based on the significance to the chemical weapons.
This is going to be a new level.
The location and the layout.
And somebody better not be a baby about it.
Like this strike tonight was pretty limited, not too dissimilar from last year. I know it was three targets this time instead of one, but it still seems a little bit more targeted and more specific than what I think a lot of people were expecting. Can you walk us through your decision to, did concern about escalation with Russia affect your decision to keep this more targeted and moving from there, how much assurance can you give us that this is going to do what the strike last year didn't do, which is basically to stop from using chemical weapons again?
Nothing is certain in these kinds of matters. However, we used a little over double the number of weapons this year than we used last year. It was done on targets that we believed were selective.
What the frick is happening?
The chemical weapons program, we confined it to the chemical weapons type targets. We were not out to expand this. We were very
dang, take nab it, brother. You messed up the math with your babiness.
Mr. Secretary, prior to the attack, how important was it to get the support from the allies?
All I see is a bloody piece of somebody's head.
But also just from the countries themselves.
Well, while we're waiting, let's just make up random emojis.
That we act internationally in a unified way over something, especially that is such an atrocity as this. That we've observed going on in Syria. But I would also tell you that these allies, the Americans, the French, the British, we have operated together through thick and thin, through good times.
Oh, here we go.
And this is a very, very well integrated team. Wherever we operate, we do so with complete trust in each other, the professionalism, but more than that,
but you need to shut up
belief
and die.
that one another will be there when the chips are down. So it's important,
well,
and it's a statement about the level of trust between our nations.
Oh! Jesus! Lord have mercy!
There's been so much talk about a possible strike, and that gave the Syrians time to kind of move some of these weapons off limits. And then Secretary Mattis, just to confirm, earlier when you were saying you had information about one of the chemicals, but we're all assuming that means chlorine, that you had information confirming chlorine, not necessarily saying.
Oh, Jade!
I'm not aware of specific actions that the Syrians took chemical weapons in the last couple of days.
Yeah, we're very confident that chlorine was used. We are not ruling out sarin right now.
Oh, I ripped them in half! Oh, gee!
I'd like to follow up on Lewis's question about the targets that you first examined and then triaged down to the street tonight. Facilities and not the actual weapons, as indicated earlier, to minimize accidental risk to civilians. In the targets that remain, could you characterize the ability for Syria to ramp up again?
I think it's too early to make that assessment.
I did not nudge away. When everybody cricket stop saying that to me.
Delford, did any Russian defenses engage U.S., British, or French ships or missiles? And Secretary Mattis, were any of the strikes tonight intended to kill Bashar al-Assad?
The only reaction that I'm aware of at this time was Syrian surface-to-air missiles. I happen to be down in the National Military Command Center and was aware of that activity. I'm not aware of any Russian activity, and I'm not aware of the full scope of the Syrian regime response.
Oh, what's about Johnny? It says that you left.
Yeah, The targets tonight, again, were specifically designed to degrade the Syrian war machine's ability to create chemical weapons and to send that back.
I'm sure my butcher.
There were no attempts to broaden or expand.
That's what it is to me, that's it. Woo!
Thank you for coming in this evening. Based on recent experience, we fully expect a significant disinformation campaign over the coming days.
I know we are brothers,
who have aligned themselves with the Assad regime. And in an effort to maintain transparency and accuracy, my assistant for public affairs, White, and Lieutenant General McKenzie, the director of the Joint Staff here in Washington, will provide a brief.
Well, that's bad because I'm about to assassinate the king of Uganda.
9 o'clock in this same location. But thank you again for coming in this evening, ladies and gentlemen.
So there you go. You're watching the Pentagon briefing there, given by the Chairman of the
sorry to say, but
and the Defense Secretary General James Mattis at the Pentagon.
You are the
airstrikes
have
now landed in Syria at this hour. A couple of things before we get to our
I'm sorry to say, but
including our man on the ground in northern Syria. The General James Mattis started by saying that the people of Syria has suffered terribly under this Assad regime, and then talking about the atrocities and the atrocities are unacceptable. Also saying that they're taking as much precaution as possible so that civilians would not be hit. He said that he is confident that chlorine gas not sure about Sarin, saying they used double the weapons this year as last year. As you remember, there was an airstrike on Syria this time last year as well. Said that they were very precise, they were proportionate, but it was a heavy strike. Lots to talk about in the coming hours here on CNN as the airstrikes have now hit Syria. I want to get to CNN's Jim Sciutto, also Pamela Brown. As I said, who is in northern Syria.
Flip the gun, hope that lands. Please don't shoot yourself in the head.
Talk about targets tonight and what the goals are. Tell us about that.
John, we learned a lot in that briefing from Mattis and Dunford, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. First of all, Mattis made very clear he said this was a one-time shot.
Before you can...
Nice strike early on chemical weapons facilities. That is not what the president said moments before Mattis went to the podium. The president described it sustained.
Yeah, that's concerned. I don't know if you broke your head or broke your limb.
How do you reconcile those two statements? It's
my brother,
Mattis did say that if these weapons were used again, there would be a response. But in terms of this strike, it's a one-time shot. And that in the way the president characterized it earlier.
By the way, there's no winner or loser.
We're just doing this for fun. It was purely about chemical weapons. It was not about going after the regime, trying to weaken the regime. Mattis made very clear that this was directed at the Syrian regime and not Russia.
Give me your face and let me rip it off!
The debates leading up to this decision tonight have been concerned about escalation that might bring the U.S. into conflict with the Russian forces on the ground there.
My brother!
The final point I would make is this. It's remarkable to hear from Mattis for him to say that very confident
we both flipped up at the same time.
That we knew.
Well, if it's smoke signals not letting you join, you want to join the share play?
Past year without any U.S. response, no definitive answer on a nerve agent or sarin gas. In fact, he said we're just not ruling it out. I mean, that's a remarkable step behind from where it felt like the evidence was going this week, and what seemed to be the standard for a U.S. strike here. What distinguished this use of chemical weapons was that it appeared that a nerve agent was used. But Mattis saying that more than a week after this attack happened,